Great to hear from our men's 10K champion, and the presentations are ongoing here on the stage for the women's 5 kilometers. In about 8-9 minutes time, they'll be stepping down to the right of that stage and ripping around this 2.5 kilometer course twice. That is Ludovica Cavalli of Italy, a 4:01 1500 meter runner. Finished 11th in the world final last year. She also is a very accomplished 5,000 meter runner, ran 15:08 on the track. What can she run on the road?
Hanami Maeda of Japan, the final athlete here on the left-hand side. She won a wonderful 2 hours 18:59 to finish runner-up at the Osaka Women's Marathon in January this year. And would have all but secured her qualification for Paris, making her a 2-time Olympian. She took part in the Tokyo Olympic Games, finishing 33rd. As with some of our male athletes, here to have a look at Paris at the Recce, have some fun on the roads in this 5,000 meter race.
And a round of applause for these ladies. Thank you very much. If you're going to prepare for your events that will start in just a few moments.
The other athletes up there on the screen were Caroline Naiga, Belinda Chemutai and Joy Cheptoyak.
Yeah, Cheptoyak, you'd have to imagine, will feature very strongly here. She went out hard at the World Cross Country just a week ago, less than a week ago, and she faded substantially over the latter half, trying to follow the Kenyan women, which everyone knows was mission impossible for anyone else in the world last Saturday.
Stat for you, Cathal. Do you know what the slowest 5,000 meter personal best was on that Kenyan World Cross team?
Go ahead, depress me.
I think it was 14:12, someone told me.
So slow, isn't it?
Just pathetic. So yeah, finished 5th in the World Cross and you don't even score on your team. That is the state of affairs in the World Cross Country.
It's our featured athletes. So as the men's 10 kilometer athletes, or 5 kilometer athletes have been introduced, we'll just cut back to the mix zone because Ava is with our new Austrian record holder, Julia Meyer.
So tell us how the race felt and how it feels to break the record.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Like the first 5K was crazy because racing alongside Eilish McColgan is like dreaming. So the first 5 were really, really easy, and the second 5 was just pushing hard, and in the end it was perfect.
And were there any tough parts of the race that you felt you had to push through?
Like the corners, like a little bit wet road, so it was a little bit tough, but actually the shoe was great, so no slippery parts, but yeah, you had to take care.
And I know you played football for many, many years, and then now you're a runner, so how is that switch like, and are you happy that you made that switch?
Yeah, I'm really, really happy. Running means so much to me, and now breaking records is like a dream come true.
And how has it been now as a mother to also balance that with running? Do you feel like it makes you a better runner?
Yeah, for sure. It's like, I mean, it's family. Family is everything, and pushing then on the road is fun. And if you can do it fast, it's more fun.
That's great. Well, congratulations from all of us to you, and looking forward to the next race.
Thank you so much.
Passing it back to the commentators.
Great reflections there from the new Austrian national record holder. Have a look through the rest of our athletes that we're introducing here. Nate Reek of Canada. Reach. He's a Canadian Paralympian and won a gold medal in Tokyo in the T38 1500. He had a freak accident when he was 10, playing golf with his friends, and a ball hit his head and left him with an impairment on his left-hand side. He competes in the T38 category, but he's here competing in the 5,000 metres, so a bit of over-distance work for the defending Paralympic champion as he sets his sights on the Paralympics, which will be towards the end of August here in Paris. So just a few more weeks for him to wait.
And Abba is once again down in the mix zone with another of our athletes who ran very fast. That is Etienne Daguineau of France.
After your race, but the podium ceremony will
Oh, this way. Okay. I'm here with Etienne, who just got a really good personal best. So do you want to tell us how the race felt?
It was a hard race. The feeling was not really good. I was bad feeling at the 5K, so it was long after. But the atmosphere was very good, and I just give all I have in my legs, and it's a personal best.
What do you want to say to all the people that were on this race course cheering for you and pushing you forward?
Yes, it was amazing. I had a lot of friends, and the atmosphere was really good. So it was a show, it was not a race, it was a big show, amazing.
And knowing that we're in Paris, which is going to host the Olympic Games very soon, like what did that mean to you, and did that give you that extra motivation to push your personal best?
Yes, I think it's a dream for me to be in the Olympic Games this summer. So it's the beginning. Now it's the beginning, and I start the season in Paris. I swear the season will finish in Paris in August. I will see.
And what will it mean to represent your country potentially at home in France?
I think for all French people, it's a dream to run the Olympic Games in France, in our country. So I will give all I have in my legs to be in Paris in August.
Well, congratulations. We'll all be here supporting you. So I'll pass it back to the commentators.
Our athletes making the way towards the start line for the final race here this evening. The speed race at 5,000 here at the Asics speed event. Our athletes all testing out the new Metaspeed Paris Series shoe. Bright orange, hard to miss. It's on the bottom of all of these athletes, and it's going to propel them around the streets of Paris.
Yeah, there's an idea of some of the men's field. We'll be racing through these, but we'll tell you a bit more about them as they're on the line. The favourite undoubtedly though, Hagos Gebrehiwet of Ethiopia, the star of this field, the most accomplished man in this field, a multiple world medalist on the track over 5,000 metres, an Olympic bronze medalist back in 2016, and he really is an outstanding competitor. 12:42 he's run for 5,000 metres on the track. He's run 12:59 on the road, and when I talked to him yesterday and I said, what do you think? And he said 13 minutes, and then I said 12:49 the world record, and he said yes. But we'll see if he can live up to that, because that's big talk.
That's what we want to hear. It's just coming up to a minute to go to the start of this 5,000 metres, and there's a look at the women's start list. Vanula McCormack, bit of under-distance running for the Irish marathoner. She will be sprinting, I'm sure, right from the start. Nana Bove of Denmark has been running really well, setting national records for them as well. Lizzie Bird, the British national steeplechase record holder. Joy Chepetok of Uganda, 1:11 on her chest, will be an interesting athlete to watch. She ran a new national record for Uganda of 30 minutes and 3 seconds over the 10,000. Could have gone in the longer distance here if she'd chosen to. She's going over the shorter 5,000. Caroline Mayaga will be running alongside her, I'm sure. It's a wonderful close race on the 10,000 metres on the women's side. You see a repeat here in the men's and the women's 5,000 metres. Coming up to 20 seconds to go for these athletes. Quite a large field. They have put most of the male athletes on the front line, but it could be a ferocious start. We saw that particularly in the junior race, all the way at the start of this programme back at 7 o'clock. They're going to be tearing down this first straightaway.
The 10-second countdown until liftoff. Well, it doesn't look like you're going to go quite at the end of that, unless that guy is very quick jumping out of the way. Don't think he's that quick, but we're ready to roll. Here we go. The clock has started a little prematurely. There we go. Perhaps there's a new clock, and there is indeed, as they set off for 5 fast kilometres around the streets of Paris. Mentioned it is about 150 metres to this first corner, but it's not a sharp corner, thankfully. It's just a gentle diagonal, but you can see, like Paris-Roubaix, they're on a bit of cobbles there, which are a bit slick. In this weather, there's still a good bit of surface water, but really the temperature is just about perfect. It's about 17 degrees. It's calm. There's not much wind. Despite that little bit of water on the surface, it's a great night for running fast, and no surprises to see Hagos Gebrehiwet, the Olympic and world medalist on the track and the reigning world road running champion over 5 kilometres, assuming pole position behind the pacemaker.
He's got a wonderful pacemaker here. Isaac Nadar of Portugal has had a wonderful last few months. Broke the Portuguese national indoor record over 1,500 metres at the Czech Indoor Gala in January, and then backed that up with a brilliant 4th in Glasgow. I'm sure the Portuguese man would have loved to have been on the podium, but to have taken Rui Silva's indoor record as part of his indoor campaign is a good performance so far, and just taking some time away from his training here to pacemake his fellow Asics athletes.
Yeah, I think the plan is to go to about 1,500 metres, but I know Isaac could go a bit further than that. Come on, come on, buddy, get to 2K. We shall see, though. He's doing a great job at the moment, and he is stringing this field out. Agos Gebrhiwet, well, he talked the talk, and so far he is walking the walk, and he is settled in behind the pacemaker and very much gapping this field.
Isaac Nadar is full out here, though. He will be in kind of over-distance training, preparing for the 1,500 metres outdoors as well, I'm sure. But he's striding out here. Gebrhiwet is going to want to go all the way to the line here. He was advertised as being after a fast time in Leicester a few weeks ago in the UK, and the weather really deteriorated that night, and he slowed down to around about 13:19 or so, I think. So Gebrhiwet has got another swing at a fast road 5K time here. It was a wonderful gold he took at the World Road Running Championships, and he would love to get further underneath 13 minutes, and could tonight be the night. Gebrhiwet's checking his watch. He almost pulls up alongside Isaac Nadar as he's saying it's not quite fast enough yet.
There is Fionnuala McCormack in your shot there in the middle of those 3 female athletes. Being an Irish athletics journalist, she's been on the scene for about 25 years or so at this point, or more. And she broke through it in her mid-teens and was representing Ireland, I think, about the age of 14 or 15 internationals. And here she is on her way to a 5th Olympics back here, and she'll be checking out that marathon course tomorrow morning.
And there's a wonderful big group of females here all working together. This is the largest of the female elite fields, this 5,000 metres, and they've got a great pack. You can pick out Lizzie Bird of Great Britain and Northern Ireland in the middle there, and they're just coming round for the hairpin in front of Pallas Garnier. And back to Gebrhiwet and Nadar. They've turned around that hairpin and they're going back on the far side of the course. They should be well past a kilometre so far. The first kilometre split that's come up on my computer was 2:35 for Gebrhiwet, nice and swift.
Certainly. 2:35 is 12:55 pace. So remember, Gebrhiwet's personal best is 12:59. The world record by Barihu Aragawi is 12:49. Could Gebrhiwet pull off something magical here in the French capital? We shall see. It's very like the Tour de France, really, and the Champs-Élysées over the road, isn't it there? Just athletes running up and back on one of these famous, beautiful Parisian avenues. And Isaac Nadar looks like he is starting to hurt at this point. He checks his watch, and really, Agos Gebrhiwet looks like he can't go quick enough here. He looks like he's almost tripping over himself to get going.
Gebrhiwet looks really eager for this. I think his 12:42 he ran at Monaco in the track in the Diamond League last summer was a bit of a comeback for me for Gebrhiwet. He'd stepped away, it looked like he was stepping away from track running, and he was doing really well at half marathons. But sometimes if you do that over distance training and you get the strength from that, it can unlock a new level over 5,000 metres, and I think that's what's happened for Gebrhiwet. That strength training has been really, really good for him, and poor Isaac Nadar of Portugal, he did everything he could to stay ahead of Gebrhiwet, and he lasted around about 4 minutes.
Yeah, and only a few seconds behind there through the first kilometre are 2 Djiboutian athletes. And like the national record for Djibouti is 13:34, so they have gone out at around 13-minute pace, so keep an eye on that. That could be a huge breakthrough run from them on the roads, but they are accomplished athletes on the track. Mohamed Ismail leading the way with 13:04.
Pair of Ugandans at the front of the women's race, Joy Cheptoyek and Belinda Chemutai. Cheptoyek, I think, will have been disappointed with her 18th place finish at the World Cross Country Championships. Cathal already mentioned it was perhaps overzealous for her early pacemaking, but if she can pace it absolutely perfectly today, Cheptoyek looks poised to run something really good. She was underneath 3 minutes for the first kilometre as well.
Cheptoyek really running just with such ease there, but she has company, and I think at this point of the race you probably want it. But all alone in splendid, or not so splendid, isolation is Agos Gebrhiwet. He wants a sub-13-minute clocking. It'll remind him a bit of that podium festival in Leicester, but not too much, I'm sure. It's a lot nicer for running around the streets of Paris here tonight. And look at the ease with which he's running. He's checking his watch. It just almost looks like a tempo run there. He's coming up towards the end of this first lap.
Gebre, he looks a little bit like a man on a mission to me. Checking that watch an awful lot. He's definitely not here for a tactical race. He's here to run at a fast time as he makes his way down the bottom loop here on the course. One left-hand turn. He'll take another left-hand, right-hand turn, left-hand, right-angle turn here behind the motorbikes, and he will see the halfway point, the start-finish gantry with the white LEDs up ahead of him, lighting the way, showing him his path. And we're going to have a look at the halfway split for the Ethiopian, the World Athletics road running champion from Riga back in October. One of the fastest men ever over 5,000 metres on the roads and on the track. Can he get underneath 13 minutes? Can he get close to his lifetime best?
Well, the halfway split is a big one. He's going to be just outside 6:30, or almost bang on, 6:31 or so as he comes through here. Easy maths there to do. It's 13 minutes just outside that pace. 12:59 is his personal best. That's the big one he wants. And the chasing packer not too far behind, but Adel Michal in arrears. He's gone through in about 6:40, so they're all on for big times as well. We might see a Spanish record.
A pair of Djibouti athletes with Adel Michel, Mohamed Ismail and Abdi Vass. Maxime Chaumeton running well for South Africa as well. He goes through halfway in 6:44. Felix Boer of France goes through in 6:49. So wonderful running from that second pack. And we get our first look at Caroline Nyaga of Kenya. She comes up to her halfway split. She's going to come through the start-finish gantry around about 7:20 or so. So well under 15-minute pace for Caroline Nyaga.
Great running, but can she hold it together over the second half? This is when it gets really tough, and that is a beautiful side-on shot of Hagos Gebrehiwet. You can just see his feet skipping off the surface there. That is the sort of mechanics every young athlete would want to dream of, and that's how the world's best do it. And this man is the reigning world road running champion. You get a close-up on those Asics Metaspeed. I'm not sure if he's in the Sky or the Edge, but two similar shoes. But however he runs, he does it looking very, very good, and he's very, very fast right now. With just about 5 minutes or so of hard running ahead of him as he runs up this avenue towards Palais Garnier. Built for the Paris Opera, and he is putting on a bit of a symphony here, and it is a one-man show so far with a 9-second lead over Adel Michal.
Hagos Gebrehiwet has been running at a world-class level for over a decade. He set the world junior record all the way back in 2012 with 12:47, and he's been running in the 12:40s for many, many years. I mentioned a slight dip in form, a slight turn, got his head turned slightly by the roads, moved towards the half marathon. He's on the roads here tonight, but Gebrehiwet, as he looks towards those Paris Olympic Games, could be a real contender in the 5,000 or the 10,000.
So Caroline Nyaga has a 3-second advantage over Belinda Chemutai and then Samia Hassan. There's certainly national records in the offing there if they keep that up for Samia Hassan. But Caroline Nyaga looks to be all alone out front, running so strongly there. But this is the furthest from the finish Hagos Gebrehiwet will be, and I think he's just backing off that pace maybe just a little. He's a little cautious around that bend. He's definitely starting to hurt, but that's only natural. He's into the 4th kilometre. He's going to have to dig deep, and he will be thinking, can I get under 13 minutes? His pace was just outside. We'll be getting should be getting a split soon enough. We'll get an idea, but just visually maybe looks to just showing some signs of fatigue, Hannah.
He does for the first time. Gebrehiwet was taking it easy round that corner, but he did catch up with Cathal Dennehy just before the race to tell us how he was going to approach today.
I am joined here by Hagos Gebrehiwet. This man is a medalist over 5,000 metres on the track at world and Olympic level, and he's going to be tearing around the streets of Paris on Friday night, over 5 kilometres. You've run below 13 minutes before for the distance. What is your goal here?
Thank you so much. The Asics first times for me, the new for me. That's good. Yeah, very nice. It was good.
And you've been trying out the shoes in the last few days. How do the shoes feel?
I don't know, no, because me is new, because now is tomorrow is the test. After tomorrow is this feeling. Yeah, like this. The design is very good. and after tomorrow it's running like feeling out after tomorrow, like this.
How has training been going recently?
The training very nice. I'm good training. The rest tomorrow, I'm good, very good, like result. Under 13 maybe, like this, my plan.
Do you have a time goal in mind?
Yes, time, I don't know, sorry.
Do you think we might see 13 minutes?
Yeah, after 13 minutes, like this, my plan. 12:49, maybe like this.
That's a nice goal, and it might not be your only time in Paris this year. What are your goals for the summer?
The summer maybe aus Ethiopia aus disqualified and finally test and Spain Malaga is the federation like this. After like this, maybe Paris Olympic like this.
I guess we wish you the very best of luck on the road ahead.
Thank you so much.
And we're back on the streets. He talked the talk, and Hagos Gebrhiwot is walking the walk. He's running just by the finish on the other side of that block. He's going to swing a left-hand turn. He's got 1 minute of hard running to do. There's the Ethiopian, the world and Olympic medalist, the world champion on the roads over 5 kilometers. The finish is just to the left of where he is now. 1 minute to go, and then he'll be seeing the Palais Royal, built in the 1630s, the former home of Louis XIII and King Louis XIV before he moved out to Versailles. But no doubts about the King of Paris tonight. It is Hagos Gebrhiwot of Ethiopia, with just about 200-300 meters at the moment to run for the Ethiopian, and he is in splendid isolation out front. As we said, Caroline Niaga is leading the women's race. We'll check back on her as soon as Hagos Gebrhiwot hits the line. But the Ethiopian, he does look to have slowed just a little, but he's keeping up the pace. As you can see, it's going to be outside 13 minutes. How far outside? He's probably got about 20 to 30 seconds to run around this corner, and he'll see the finish, and that will be a very, very welcome sight. He went for it tonight, that's for sure. He went hard from the start. He went out on sub 13 minute pace, couldn't quite hold it together after a great pacing job from Isaac Nader. But Hagos Gebrhiwot will likely be seeing this man back in Paris this summer for the Olympic Games, and he has set himself up beautifully for a great track season with a fast run around the streets of Paris tonight. Hagos Gebrhiwot is your winner over 5 kilometers at the Asics speed race.
And a wonderful sprint on for second and third. Is it going to be Ishmael of Djibouti? He crosses the line in 13:30 or so. That could be a new Djibouti national record for Mohamed Ishmael. Wonderful run in third place from Spain's Adel Michel, and the athletes are pouring across the finish line. Clock just moving towards 14 minutes. Fantastic running from these athletes, and a wonderful win from Hagos Gebrhiwot. And Caroline Niaga of Kenya is your lead woman. She has one last turn to go, and then she will head towards the finishing straight. She's starting to flounder. It was at this stage a few weeks ago in the UK where she was pipped just to the finish line by her training partner. But today, Caroline Niaga of Kenya looks full of running. She's got the pacemaker alongside her. She's trying to push her pace. Only a few women in the world have ever run underneath 14:30. Caroline Niaga is going to be super close here today in Paris. She is emptying the tank. She's driving her arm. She's pushing to the finish line. She's going to be very close to her lifetime best of 14:35. It's just slipping away from her, but a wonderful clocking nonetheless, and a win for Caroline Niaga of Kenya.
And we would expect that it is Joy Cheptoyuk perhaps contending for second, but we'll see who it is coming through. We would expect that it is Sami Hassan of Djibouti was certainly up there as well. She will set a personal best no matter what she's running. She doesn't have one on the roads, but she's run 15:21 on the track. As you see them come up to the finish there, that is indeed Joy Cheptoyuk, passes in around 15 flat. Athletes exhausting themselves. You can see Caroline Niaga has left it all out there, drops to the ground. Outstanding running. We go, I think Ludovica Cavalli is coming across there in just about 15:18 or so. We'll get these results officially to you as soon as we have them. 18 or so.
Wonderful efforts from all these women down there. And the men ahead of them as well. You see Look at the form there of Lizzie Bird, steeplechase specialist. All of these women desperately trying to get themselves underneath 16 minutes. The clock just getting towards that mark, but they are going to be underneath it. It was a great pack, worked so well there together. Martina Gallant of Poland, Agnieszka Makasha of Ethiopia, Katarina Steinruck of Germany, all working well there to get probably new personal best underneath 16 minutes.
So it was fast, it was furious. What a race that was around the streets of Paris. And unlike, I suppose, the 10 kilometers earlier, where we had head-to-head battles down to the final turn and a bit of argy-bargy as they went around it, we had two solo demonstrations there by Kenya's Caroline Niaga and Ethiopia's Hagos Gebrehiwot. The athletes Lizzie Bird, they're absolutely spent, and they will need a few minutes before they'll go for a cool down. It's a very unique experience for them to run around a city centre like Paris, this historical centre, in a beautiful course, and great to see the crowds there lining either side, banging on those advertising hoardings. A well-deserved reception for all these athletes in the Asics speed race. Unofficially 13:24 for Hagos Gebrehiwot out front. Mohammed Ismail of Djibouti 13:32. I think that might be a Djiboutian national record. 13:34 is the national record I'm seeing for Djibouti, so it looks like Mohammed Ismail is second, has broken that national record. Adele Michel with 13:34 in third. And the women's podium, Caroline Niaga 14:40, I think it's still unofficial. Joy Cheptoyek 15:03, and Belinda Chemutai 15:05. Just looking back down the numbers for anyone wondering. Fionnuala McCormack 16:34 finish. Nana Bove of Denmark 16:30. Kira Weiss of Germany 16:01.
Go True Ling of Singapore getting applauded across the line. A really global race here today. Asics athletes from all over the world been invited here to test out the new Metaspeed Paris Series shoe. Representative from Singapore getting a lovely cheer. Everybody bashing on those advertising boards down the finishing straight.
It'll be interesting to have a word with our two champions and some of the other athletes down the field, even who may have surpassed their personal bests, or just give us some reflections on the experience. We'll give them a chance to gather their breath as these presentations are ongoing. I'm sure Abba will be waiting in the mix zone to have a chat with a lot of them.
Claire Cashmore, Great Britain, just making her way over the line as well. Paralympian, we've got a few Paralympic representatives here.
Yeah, 5-time Paralympian. We should be hoping to make it 6th this summer. Really is a beautiful setting.
Nice to see you too. Good job. You okay?
High fives for Caroline Niaga. Lovely to see the atmosphere still building here. There's actually a mass participation race taking place in a few minutes, so everybody getting kitted up earlier on to get excited. They've then had to calm themselves down and watch the elite races, and then probably re-warm up now to have their go around the course. They're doing 5K as well, I think, 2 loops of the course, so that'd be wonderful for those athletes to follow in the footsteps of the elites.
Just not quite as fast.
Maybe for 100
But
metres.
there's no shame in that.
Someone might have a go. Sprint first kilometre, see if they can get anywhere near.
We saw a bit of that at the World Cross Country, didn't we?
Yes.
Never, no shame in being a have-a-go hero. Just like in cycling, get the sponsors, you know, logos on TV.
Why not? You have to see what the lead women in both races were 3-minute kilometres or faster, and that will get anyone from the masses doing that. Well, who knows? Might be discrediting them. Many of these Asics athletes have been looked after well here. They've been bonding as a team. There's very much an atmosphere around the Asics athletes, that they're nurtured by the brand and they're looked after, and it's a bit of a treat of a weekend for them, coming to run a certified road race like this. This is a World Athletics certified race. They can take these times away and have them on their CVs, and it'll be important as they progress through the year, picking up things like world ranking points for Olympic Games qualification. But these athletes will now relax, and they'll get a look at that Paris Marathon course tomorrow morning if they want it, and then they can have probably a watch party for the Paris Marathon on Sunday morning. So a real weekend for these guys.
For sure, and just haven't seen. And I believe that Abba is about to speak to Caroline Niaga. We'll let you know when she's ready. But yeah, it's been just having been at the last couple of editions of this. It's outstanding to see how much this has progressed. 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, this took place in Morton in central France in a theme park. It was COVID times, so there was no fans allowed then. 2 years ago, it took place in Malaga, stepped up to a city centre location. And what a night it's been here in Paris. But Ava is with our women's champion, Caroline Niaga.
I'm here with Caroline, who just won the women's 5K. Congratulations. Do you want to tell us how it feels winning the race?
I thank God because today I've won the race. It was a tough race because when you went at the start line, no one knows who will finish the first one. I'm happy because I've finished when I am the first one. I thank God for that. Yeah, this was tough. The guys who we were running with, they were tougher. So I thank God because today it was my day.
And I know there were some tough points in that race. How did you focus and push yourself through?
First pace was so quick, but around 800 meters there was some slippery place, so I had to step with a lot of caution because we had been told that the race has some slippery course. So I have done my part and I have tried my best. Yeah.
And what do you want to say to all of those that have been supporting you?
I thank you to my management, management. Also, thank you for the Asics. I'm happy to run with the Sky Plus Meta Speed. It's a good race. It is a good shoe. I'm happy to run with it. Yeah.
And last question, what's your next race?
My next race, I'm gonna go sit down with my coach and plan for the next race. Yeah.
Okay. Congratulations. Back to the commentators.
Great to hear from our women's champion, Caroline Niaga. She's a police officer, although, you know, it's the Kenyan sports system whereby you don't have to do too much work until your career is done, of course. But yeah, she's part of the police system in Kenya, so don't mess with her. That's what I'm saying.
That's what you're saying.
But yeah, she's now training in Kaptagat, the Asics Chojo camp, under the guidance of Coach Peter Bai. Saw Tom Broadbent there, her agent, congratulating her after the race. Just talking to her coach earlier. The plan is 5,000 meters at the Olympics. She's certainly shaping up well to have a tilt at that, although, as we learned last Saturday, there is no shortage of good female distance runners in Kenya. Probably the hardest team in the world to make in perhaps any sport.
I think that's a fair claim. Having a look at our mass participation runners here, getting themselves ready. Have a go. Let's go to Singapore and just debriefing with her support team as well.
Yeah, she looks pleased. She was eyeing up a marathon or a 5-kilometer record. Didn't quite come out tonight, but she'll live to fight and run another day. But Ava is down in the mix zone with Hagos Gebrhiwet.
Thank you. I am here with Hagos, the winner of the men's 5K. So can you talk us through your race and how it went?
ስለ ውድድሩ ሲያወራን
ያው አመሰግናለሁ። ያው የመጀመሪያ ነው እኔ ያሴክስ አሁን ነው የገባሁትና በጣም አሪፍ ነው። ያው ውድድሩ ትንሽ ከዝናብ አኳያ ትንሽ ያሻራታልና ያው በአብዛኛው ውጤት አሪፍ ነው።
I do thank you. I am recently joined Asics. I am very happy to be an Asics athlete, and the race is really nice. But because of the rain, like the ground is slippery.
And tell me what is the place where you train like in Tigray? Is it climate conditions like this? Is it very different?
ትግራይ ትሬኒንግ የምታደርግበት የአየር ሁኔታ ምን ይመስላል? እንደዚህ ቀዝቃዛ ነው ወይስ?
ያው ብዙ ትግራይ አልሰራም፣ አዲስ አበባ ነው የምሰራው። ያው አዲስ አበባ ተመሳሳይ ነው፣ ቀዝቃዛ ነው። ያው ቆንጆ ነው። ያው ጥሩ ተዘጋጀ ነበር። ያው በዝናብ ምክንያት ያው ጥሩ እንዳሰብ ካረጥኩምና ያው ኔክስት ጥሩ እሮጣለሁ ብዬ አስባለሁ።
He's training at the moment not in Tigray but in Addis, but the weather is like it is similar. He has been preparing really well for this race, but he didn't do as he expected because of the weather and like that. But in the future, he will try to do well.
And what motivates you to keep on pushing for whether it's the world record, for an Olympic medal? What is it? How do you keep that focus?
Can you repeat it?
How do you keep the motivation, to continue pushing even if a race doesn't go your way, to continue to try to push for a record, a medal,
አንተ እንዳቀድከውና እንዳሰብከው ባይሆንም ዛሬ ግን ከዚህ በኋላ ከፊት ለፊት ላለው ለኦሎምፒክ የተለያዩ ሪከርዶችን ለመስበር ምን ያክል ይሄ ያነሳስተዋል?
ያው ለኔ ጥሩ ነው። ያው አሴክስ ሁሌ መዘጋጃ ውድድር በጋ ቢሆን አሪፍ ነው ማለት ከዚህ በለጠ ጥሩ ሰዓት እንዲሮጥለት እንፈልጋለን። ያው የአሴክስ ልጆች አትሌቶች ያው በጋ ሲሆን ሞር የበለጠ ሰዓትና የበለጠ እንትን ይሆናል ብዬ አስባለሁ እና ያው ለኦሎምፒክ ያው ጥሩ ተዘጋጀ ጥሩ ውጤት ለመጣ ያው ካሁን ጀምሮ ያው ብዙ ስራ ይጠብቀኛልና ያው ጥሩ ውጤት አመጣለሁ ብዬ አስባለሁ።
Like as an Asics athlete, like not only for me but for others, like if the race organized in a convenient weather, so that would help us to run faster. So from now I am focusing on on Olympics. So I want to work really hard and achieve my goal.
We're confident that you will achieve them. So congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
I'll send it back to the commentary box.
Thank you so much.
Our men's winner, Hagos Gebrhiwit. As we look around this beautiful square, the Palais Royal on one side, the Louvre Museum on the other. 8.9 million visitors a year, and Hannah England is going to be one of them tomorrow.
Not till Monday.
Oh,
got my ticket booked on
You're
Monday.
Smart. You avoided the weekend.
Yeah, I did. I thought the Louvre might be a tiny bit quieter on Monday, as there'll be so many people here for this whole weekend of athletics with the course of Paris Marathon taking place on Sunday. But it's been a wonderful evening tonight here in Paris, starting off with those youth races. And we've got to reflect, it was wonderful that Asics handed out 6 contracts for those athletes there, for the under-18s, under-20s and the under-23. So hats off to those athletes that got the action underway at 7 o'clock. And then just wonderful with these elite races, with the 10,000 metres and now the 5,000.
Yeah, 2 great contests, I think, in the 10K races, and 2 great individual performances in the 5km races. Fast times, great races, it's what you want, and good crowds. And I think connecting with the city, 4 months before the Olympics, less than 4 months now. It's engaged a lot of fans here. We just see a lot of tourists and people walking past here wondering what's going on, and then just standing by the railings for a bit. So it's great to see that. This festival of running is for absolutely everyone. But I believe Ava right now is down in the mix zone with Spain's Adele Michal.
I'm here with Adele Michal, who just made a very, very good PB. So congratulations. How did you plan out this race and how did it go?
I really planned very well because in the last event of Asics in Sevilla, they told me about this event and I prepared for it and tried to break the national record, but today was really rainy and the asphalt was too wet and we lost some grip. And the course, they had few turns, was not pretty well, but even all these things, we achieved a really good personal best and happy, a good start of my outdoor season and looking forward.
So when you're in a race like this where there is, whether it's rain or slippery or, the turns are tough, how do you keep the planning in your head that whether you know if the PB is going to happen or not? How do you like walk yourself through it?
Before to start the race, I had 2 goals in my mind. One of them was try to break the national record if the day was really good, and the second was okay. The day when we wake up, we saw the sky was really rainy, and I said, okay, the goal is to be in the podium and try to be competitive as much as I can, and I achieved that, and I am really happy for this because today was not really nice weather for run fast, but happy another podium in my career, and really grateful for that.
And you have so many European level championship. You've been an Olympian. Like, what is next for you? What is the next goal?
Oh, the next goal, of course. I have already the standard for Olympics here in Paris in August. In the 1500 meters today around the 5K, this was like just base endurance. Try to challenge myself in a different distance, and now it's coming Diamond League Doha, Diamond League Rabat, Diamond League London, and it's very nice season with the European Roma in June, and just focus now in my main distance in the 1500 meters, and try to be here in August as much competitive as I can.
And last question for you, what do you prefer between track running versus road running?
Road running is really nice because I think every race I do in the road race, I like more this like event. 6 days ago, I ran in Ibiza 10K, and I am really enjoying like racing the road because you run through the streets. The stadiums is pretty same. Wherever you go, it can change the stadium, how big is it, but the road races, you need to adapt to the asphalt, you need to adapt to the course, if it's uphill, downhill, windy, and always is some big challenge, and it's something I really enjoy. No? I think for now, still track, it is more adrenaline, but about enjoyment, I really enjoy the road race.
Well, I hope we get to interview many more times, so thank you, congratulations again, and I'll pass it back to the commentators.
Thank you, Ava, and thank you, Adele Michel. We're just looking out here in front of the Louvre and the Palais Royal at the amateur runners who are getting ready to run around the streets of Paris. We'll be off air before then. We'll see if we can grab anyone else for a quick chat before then, but I see the CEO of World Athletics, John Ridgen, on the start line looking nervous. A man who looks great, a former World Championship medalist, I believe, in the 90s at 400 hurdles. And one of the most powerful men in the sport, but it's great to see him down there. He's actually asked to take a picture of Eilish McColgan and fans, and I certainly don't think the people who asked him knew who they were talking to.
He did give us a nervous look. I don't think it matters how much carbon you strap on the bottom of your feet. If you're a former sprinter, it's going to be hard work to do a 5,000.
But obviously great to see the World Athletics top brass practicing what they preach and getting out here on the streets as we see confirmation of that men's result. That is a Djiboutian national record in second of 13:32. Agos Gebrhiwet, it's not a personal best for him, but a brave attempt at it as we look down through those results. Maxime Chomaton, 13:44. He won't be thrilled with that, but you can certainly bet that he'll be going much quicker on the track as he chases Olympic qualification over 5,000 meters. I was talking to him yesterday and he said, you know, he wants to just go and run the automatic standard. None of this ranking stuff. There is Maxime. Perfect timing. Cameraman must have been listening.
No, just look at me. Okay. I'm here with Maxime, who's just did really well in the race. Congratulations. Can you tell us how the race went?
Well, you know, I think first of all, thank you to Asics for organizing this race. I mean, it's amazing what they can achieve. To bring 100 athletes out to Paris is absolutely insane, and so congratulations to them. The weather conditions were not perfect, but you know what? It's a vibe, and I think this race is just there for promoting everything that they do and showing that they are one of the best brands around. So really, thank you to them. And as a build-up for my season, I think it's fantastic to just show off what I can do for them.
And can you tell us, what is the running culture like in South Africa?
Well, you know, in South Africa, you know, everybody's togetherness now, and it's just fantastic to go out and run with your teammates. You know, the weather in South Africa is fantastic. So every day, everybody's out, everybody's jogging, everybody says hello to one another. We have clubs all over the place, and yeah, for me, I've got the best gear, so I'm the show-off.
And I know you're half French as well, so thinking about the fact that we're in Paris and you just ran this course, what would it mean to you to represent South Africa in the Olympics if it were here in Paris?
So, you know, for me, it's a bit of a tricky one at the same time, because I want to, you know, run for my country in South Africa, and I also want to represent my people in France. So I kind of go with the vibe that I'm both of them, and I'm happy to do that. Even though I have the South African flag, I will love my people here, and I think it's fantastic that we can do this event here today in Paris, because it's just home, you know, and I'm really happy to represent both.
So then, is there anything you want to say to the French people that might be watching right now?
Merci. Thank you for having us, and I mean, we'll see you guys at the Olympics. Hopefully me as well.
Yeah, we hope so too. Thank you so much. Congrats. And back to the commentators.
Great to have these live reflections from the athletes as quick as possible. And there was the quickest of the women's in the 5,000 metres, Caroline Nyaga of Kenya, 14:40. Huge winning margin of 23 seconds. A good run from Joy Cheptoyek, the Ugandan, recovering well from her exploits at the World Cross Country Championships. And that was the second Ugandan. In third place overall, Belinda Chemutai.
It's a big personal best for Ludovica Cavalli by about 16 seconds, I think.
Wonderful run from the Italian further up the field. The second page of results here, showing the big pack of athletes that were running together, trying to get underneath the 16-minute mark. Logan Jolly of the United States, the final athlete in 14th place, getting underneath that 16-minute mark, followed quickly by Caitlin Adams, Kayla Weiss, Stevie Lawrence, Lady Romero, a pair of Japanese athletes as well in 19th and 20th. We did have a few other finishers as well. Great running from the elite women.